Something big is happening on Tyneside, and it's catching everyone off guard. What started as quiet whispers behind the scenes has now burst into reality, with shocking developments inside and outside St. James Park that could reshape the future of Newcastle United. The atmosphere around the club feels electric, full of talks, decisions, and links that no one saw coming. But hang on, because it doesn't stop there. Trusted sources say meetings have been scheduled, plans are in motion, and even players who left could soon find themselves back in the Newcastle spotlight. The next few days promise surprises that every Geordie fan will feel deep in their heart. If you live and breathe black and white, hit that subscribe button now, because you won't want to miss what's coming next at Newcastle. Alexander Isak may have left Newcastle United this summer, but that doesn't mean the connection between the player and the club has been cut completely. The Swedish forward, now at Liverpool, continues to share international duties with several of Eddie Howe's trusted men, including Anthony Elanga and Emil Krafth. The black and white of Newcastle might be behind him for now, but the threads that tie Isak to Tyneside are still quietly pulling in the background. In Sweden, things have been changing fast. Graham Potter, once of Brighton and Chelsea, has been appointed interim manager of the national team with the immediate mission of guiding them toward the 2026 World Cup. He is rebuilding his backroom staff from scratch, and one of the names high on his list is none other than Newcastle United's assistant coach, Graham Jones. According to the Daily Mail *, Potter has admired Jones for years and is considering bringing him into the Sweden setup. Jones's journey with Newcastle began in January 2021, during a turbulent time under Steve Bruce. He was brought in to inject tactical discipline and organization into a side that had lost its identity. From day one, players spoke about his energy on the training ground and his detailed match preparation. When Bruce was dismissed later that year, Jones stepped up as caretaker manager. It was a short but respected spell, and his professionalism during that period earned him lasting admiration from the players and fans. When the Saudi-backed ownership group completed their takeover and Eddie Howe took charge, there was uncertainty over which members of staff would stay. But Howe immediately recognized Jones's value. He kept him on, and together they've built one of the most stable and admired coaching teams in English football. Howe relies on Jones for analysis, tactical preparation, and matchday insight. Many within the club say he's one of the most influential voices behind Newcastle's rise back to the top level. Now, Sweden's approach adds an unexpected twist to Jones's career. Potter wants him to join as an assistant on a part-time basis, allowing him to remain at Newcastle while helping the national team during international windows. For Jones, it's a tempting offer. International football brings prestige and fresh experience, and having worked for Belgium and England in the past, he knows how valuable it can be. Still, the question remains, can Newcastle afford to share him, even temporarily, during one of the club's most demanding seasons in decades? Jones's international resume is already impressive. Between 2018 and 2020, he worked under Roberto Martinez for Belgium, helping the team reach the latter stages of major tournaments. His time with Gareth Southgate's England squad for Euro 2020, which was played in 2021, further boosted his reputation. Those who've worked with him say he brings calmness, detail, and insight to every team environment he joins. It's no surprise Potter would want him by his side as Sweden aim to rebuild their footballing identity. For Sweden, the move makes perfect sense. After missing out on qualification for Euro 2024, the national team needs new energy. Potter has a short-term contract that expires in March 2026, and his mandate is simple: get Sweden back to the World Cup. Jones's experience at the highest level could provide the tactical sharpness and structure they desperately need. Having someone who understands the rhythm of modern football and has worked in the Premier League could be the difference between failure and revival. From Newcastle's perspective, however, this isn't a straightforward decision. Howe's coaching team functions as a tight-knit unit. Jones plays a central role in scouting, opposition planning, and player mentoring. He's often the first to spot small details that can change matches. For example, insiders claim it was Jones's idea to tweak the defensive setup before the memorable win over Manchester City last season, a tactical adjustment that frustrated one of the best attacking teams in the world. Howe values that kind of sharp thinking immensely. There's also the emotional connection to consider. Jones is a proud son of Gateshead, born and raised just across the river from St. James Park. For him, Newcastle United isn't just a job, it's a part of his identity. Working for his hometown club is a source of pride, and leaving, even temporarily, would be a difficult call. Eddie Howe understands that emotional bond and trusts Jones completely. They've built not only a professional partnership but a genuine friendship based on respect and shared ambition. So, what happens next? If Potter formally approaches Newcastle, the club will have a decision to make. They could allow Jones to take on both roles, seeing it as an opportunity for him to grow and bring back fresh ideas. Alternatively, they could decline, arguing that Newcastle's busy schedule leaves no room for divided focus. With the Magpies competing in the Premier League, Champions League, and domestic cups, every day of preparation counts. Howe's side cannot afford distractions when the margins for success are razor-thin. Whatever the outcome, this story highlights just how far Newcastle have come. A few years ago, no one would have imagined the assistant coach of a struggling mid-table side being sought after by international managers. Today, Newcastle United are seen as a club of excellence, a place where staff and players alike attract attention from around the world. Whether Jones stays or goes, the respect he commands reflects well on Eddie Howe's leadership and the professionalism that now defines the club. As for Isaac, the story loops neatly back to him. If Jones does join Sweden, he could find himself working with Isaac again, only this time wearing the badge of his country instead of Newcastle United. It would be a reunion filled with irony and warmth. The student once led by the teacher, now sharing the same cause once more. But for Newcastle fans, the hope will be that Jones's loyalty remains with the black and white of Tyneside, at least for a little while longer. Yasir Ulrumayan has made his intentions crystal clear. He wants Newcastle United to compete with Europe's biggest clubs, not just on the pitch but off it as well. The Saudi chief, who oversees the PIF's investment in the Magpies, believes the time has come to build not only a top team but a global football brand. And his latest move, eyeing a teenage Brazilian sensation, shows exactly how ambitious Newcastle's next steps could be. The player in question is Ryan, the 19-year-old striker currently lighting up Brazilian football with Vasco da Gama. Standing at 1.85 meters tall and blessed with raw pace, power, and a lethal right foot, Ryan has already scored 14 goals in the 2025 season. His performances have attracted attention from several European clubs, including Barcelona, but recent reports from Brazil suggest that Newcastle United have now entered the race to sign him, backed by the personal interest of Ulrumayan himself. According to NT Vascaínos, a respected outlet in Rio de Janeiro, the governor of the PIF and Newcastle's chairman has given full approval to pursue Ryan as the club's next major attacking investment. Sources close to the situation claim Ulrumayan is eager to see another member of Brazil's golden generation join the likes of Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton at St. James Park. The vision is clear: turn Newcastle into a home for the brightest South American talents before Europe's giants can even blink. It's a strategy that has worked wonders so far. When Bruno Guimaraes arrived from Lyon in early 2022, few believed Newcastle could pull off such a deal. 2 years later, he's one of the Premier League's best midfielders. Joe Linton, once written off, has become a fan favorite and symbol of Newcastle's fighting spirit. Both men have shown young Brazilian players that Newcastle isn't just a stepping stone, it's a place to thrive. For Ryan, the idea of following in their footsteps could be extremely tempting. Still, this won't be an easy transfer to complete. Vasco da Gama are in no rush to sell their star striker and have reportedly set his price at around €30 million, with a release clause of €40 million. For a 19-year-old still playing in South America, that's a steep figure, but Newcastle have shown they're not afraid to pay for potential. The club's recruitment model focuses on long-term value, and the board believes Ryan could be the next major breakthrough from Brazil's talent pipeline. However, Newcastle aren't alone in this pursuit. Both Tottenham Hotspur and Aston Villa have expressed serious interest, and some reports even claim that Thomas Frank's Brentford have reached out to Ryan's representatives. The growing competition means Newcastle must act quickly if they want to stay ahead. Luckily, the presence of Bruno and Joe Linton could give them a crucial advantage. Their success stories at St. James Park have given the club credibility in Brazil that money alone can't buy. Ryan himself is said to be calm about his future. Close sources describe him as ambitious but grounded, a player who values development over fame. He's been part of Brazil's under-20 squad that won the South American Championship earlier this year, and scouts describe him as a modern striker, quick, strong, and intelligent in his movement. His game has shades of Gabriel Jesus, but with a sharper eye for goal. For Newcastle, that blend of skill and work ethic fits perfectly with Eddie Howe's philosophy. The link to Al Ramayan is what makes this story particularly exciting for fans. When the PIF chairman personally supports a move, it usually means serious business. He's not only a financial backer but a man who deeply believes in the club's long-term project. Those close to him say he wants Newcastle to build an identity similar to Manchester City's, mixing world-class infrastructure with smart global recruitment. Ryan, young, talented, and marketable, ticks every box on that list. From a sporting perspective, signing Ryan would also be a statement about Newcastle's intent in the transfer market. Competing for a teenager already tracked by European heavyweights shows the club's new confidence. Eddie Howe has been vocal about wanting depth and variety in attack, especially with injuries to key forwards in recent months. A young striker like Ryan could offer both cover and long-term promise, developing under the guidance of players such as Callum Wilson and Alexander Isak. Of course, whether this deal happens will depend on timing and persistence. Negotiations with Brazilian clubs are famously complex, with agents, third-party rights, and local politics involved. Newcastle's recruitment team, led by Dan Ashworth and Steve Nixon, have experience navigating such deals but will need Al Ramayan's full support to get it over the line. If everything goes according to plan, Ryan could arrive as the next big name in Newcastle's South American chapter, another bold step in the club's incredible transformation under Saudi ownership. As fans look ahead to the next transfer window, this story captures the excitement of what Newcastle are becoming. They're not just chasing European qualification anymore. They're shaping a future built on ambition, youth, and smart global connections. If Ryan does join Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton on Tyneside, it would symbolize much more than a signing. It would prove that Newcastle United are ready to compete, believe, and dream on a truly world-class level once again. Eddie Howe faces one of his most important tests of the season tonight as Newcastle United take on Jose Mourinho's Benfica in the Champions League. After the disappointment against Brighton at the weekend, all eyes are on St. James Park as Howe looks to spark a strong reaction from his team. With 2 games played in the group so far, 1 win and 1 defeat, Newcastle cannot afford to drop more points at home if they want to reach the knockout stages. The challenge couldn't be tougher. Benfica arrive full of confidence, unbeaten in their domestic campaign and managed by one of Europe's most experienced tacticians. Mourinho knows exactly how to frustrate English sides, and Howe will need to get his tactics absolutely right. The mood in training has been focused but tense, with every player aware of how much this game could define Newcastle's season, both financially and emotionally. Howe's first major decision concerns his goalkeeper. Nick Pope, despite conceding twice against Brighton, remains the clear number 1. The England international had kept 2 clean sheets before that defeat and is desperate to reassert himself. His shot-stopping and command of the box will be vital against Benfica's fast counterattacks. There's no doubt Howe trusts Pope's experience and leadership in these European nights, especially under the pressure of St. James Park. At right back, Kieran Trippier keeps his place. The captain's leadership and delivery from set pieces continue to be key weapons. Even though fatigue is always a concern in a packed schedule, Trippier's professionalism and consistency make him impossible to rest. His battle against Benfica's wide men will be crucial, and fans will once again look to him to set the tempo and inspire those around him. His experience in the Champions League could make all the difference. In central defense, Malik Thiaw and Sven Botman are expected to continue their growing partnership. The pair have looked solid together in recent weeks, blending youth and composure with the kind of understanding that only improves with time. Botman, in particular, has been commanding in European matches, reading the game brilliantly and staying calm under pressure. Howe knows he needs that same reliability tonight to keep Benfica's forwards quiet and give Newcastle the platform to attack. On the left, Dan Burn looks set to start again, even though left-back isn't his natural position. With Lewis Hall still unavailable, Burn's height and experience provide balance at the back. His physical presence also gives Newcastle an advantage at set pieces, both defensively and offensively. Burn's attitude has made him one of Howe's most trusted soldiers, not the quickest, but utterly dependable and always willing to give everything for the shirt. The fans love that about him. Midfield, as always, will be the heartbeat of the team. Bruno Guimaraes leads the way, determined to control the game's rhythm and dictate play from deep. His energy, vision, and passion for the club have made him the symbol of Howe's Newcastle. Alongside him, Sandro Tonali is expected to return despite missing Monday's training session due to illness. The Italians' passing range and defensive work are vital against a Benfica side that thrives on transitions and quick movement through midfield. The third spot in the midfield trio is likely to go to Lewis Miley, who impressed at Brighton despite the team's defeat. The young academy product has shown maturity beyond his years, always looking composed on the ball and brave in possession. Howe admires his intelligence and calmness, and there's a growing feeling around the club that Miley could become a long-term star. Playing against Benfica in the Champions League would be another huge step in his rapid development. Up front, Anthony Elanga looks set to start on the right wing. The Swedish forward has been pushing hard in training and wants to make his mark in European competition. His pace and direct running could be key to unsettling Benfica's defense. On the opposite side, Anthony Gordon continues to shine. He's been one of Newcastle's most dangerous players this season, already scoring in both Champions League matches so far. His hunger and work rate make him a nightmare for any fullback. Leading the line will be Nick Woltemade, the young German striker who's quickly becoming a fan favorite. His combination of size, intelligence, and link-up play has earned Howe's trust, and he'll be expected to trouble Benfica's defense all night. With Gordon and Elanga feeding him from the wings, Woltemade has a real chance to add another goal to his growing tally. Newcastle's attack might be young, but there's energy and belief, two things that have always defined this team under Howe. This match is more than just another Champions League fixture. It's a test of Newcastle's mentality after a setback, and Howe knows how important it is to respond in front of the home crowd. The manager's calm but demanding approach has transformed this squad into fighters who never give up. A win tonight could completely change the momentum of the season, restoring confidence and silencing any doubts. For the fans, under the lights at St. James Park, there's always hope, and that's what makes nights like this so special. Tino Livramento's story at Newcastle United is one of perseverance, maturity, and quiet brilliance. When the young fullback joined from Southampton, many wondered if he could rediscover the form that once made him one of England's brightest prospects. After battling through serious injuries, he has not only returned to his best but become a vital part of Eddie Howe's plans. Now, new reports suggest Livramento is eager to extend his stay at St. James Park, and that's music to every Geordie's ears. The 22-year-old has earned praise from across the Premier League this season. His ability to play on either flank, his energy in both attack and defense, and his positive attitude have all impressed the coaching staff. According to former Manchester United scout Mick Brown, Livramento is desperate to stay at Newcastle and sign a long-term deal. Speaking to Football Insider, Brown said the youngster's progress since joining the Magpies has been exceptional, and the club should move quickly to secure his future. This comes shortly after Nick Pope's contract extension, which was quietly triggered earlier this month. Pope's deal now runs until 2027, ensuring stability between the posts. Newcastle's next priority is locking down other key players, with Bruno Guimaraes reportedly close to signing a new 5-year agreement. Livramento, though less senior, is viewed internally as part of the club's core for the future, a player who embodies Howe's ideals of work ethic, versatility, and constant improvement. It's easy to see why Howe rates him so highly. Livramento's performances have been consistently sharp, whether deployed at right-back in place of Kieran Trippier or filling in on the left when injuries strike. He plays with intelligence, discipline, and courage, never shying away from defensive duels or overlapping runs. In many ways, he's the perfect modern fullback, quick, technically skilled, and willing to put in the hard yards without complaint. That mentality has quickly won over fans and teammates alike. Financially, Livramento is currently one of the lower earners in the squad, making around £50,000 per week, ranking 19th on Newcastle's wage list. A new contract would naturally bring a significant pay rise, but the motivation behind it isn't just money. Those close to the player say he feels settled in Newcastle, enjoys working with Howe and his staff, and believes this is the perfect place to grow. The club, in turn, see him as a long-term investment who can develop into an England regular. It's worth remembering that Livramento's journey has not been easy. His career was nearly derailed by a devastating ACL injury at Southampton, which sidelined him for more than a year. Many young players never fully recover from such a setback, but Livramento approached his rehabilitation with the same determination he now shows on the pitch. That resilience caught Newcastle's attention, and when the opportunity came to sign him, they didn't hesitate. It's a decision that continues to pay off. Theo Walcott, who played with Livramento at Southampton, once described him as having a special aura, and that observation now feels spot on. There's a quiet confidence about Livramento, a belief that doesn't need shouting. When he steps onto the pitch, you sense composure and intent. For a club building for the long term, that kind of mentality is priceless. Fans can already see glimpses of the player he could become in the next few years. A complete, fearless Premier League fullback. From Newcastle's strategic point of view, tying Livramento down now makes perfect sense. With top clubs across Europe constantly searching for young, versatile defenders, his market value will only rise. By securing him on improved terms, the club not only rewards his progress but protects its assets. This is the same forward-thinking approach that saw them extend Pope's deal and move early to secure Bruno's future. Stability breeds success, and Howe knows it starts with keeping the right people. For Livramento himself, committing long-term would also provide clarity and confidence. Knowing his future is secure at a club that believes in him allows him to focus entirely on football. Under Howe's guidance, he's learning every day from one of the most detailed coaching teams in England. Kieran Trippier's mentorship has been invaluable too, giving him insights that few young defenders receive. That environment has helped Tino flourish, and he's only just getting started. As things stand, all signs point toward a happy ending. Negotiations are expected to move smoothly once formal talks begin. The player wants to stay, the manager wants him to stay, and the fans want him to stay. It's rare that all three align so perfectly. If the new contract is finalized soon, it will send another strong message about Newcastle's direction. A club committed to developing young talent while keeping its best players in black and white for years to come. What a week it's been for Newcastle United. From talk of Alexander Isak possibly crossing paths again with Graham Jones on international duty, to reports of Yasser Al-Rumayyan chasing Brazil's next big star Ryan, excitement is building everywhere. Eddie Howe's bold changes for the Benfica clash have fans buzzing with belief, while Tino Livramento's contract news proves the future is in safe hands. The club feels alive again, focused, ambitious, and united. So, Newcastle fans, what do you think? Should Graham Jones join Graham Potter's Sweden setup, or stay fully focused on Tyneside? Would signing Ryan be the next Bruno Guimaraes moment for the club? Did Howe pick the right team for Benfica? And will Livramento's new deal mark another step toward building a dynasty? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Your opinion matters here more than anywhere else. Because one thing's for sure, this is just the beginning of another thrilling chapter in Newcastle United's modern story. The pride, the passion, the noise, it's all back, stronger than ever. So keep believing, Geordies, and keep showing the world what black and white truly means. Wait, before you go, check out this breaking video from Newcastle.